But does this make the U.S. the favorites to win the gold now? They would not face Sweden, Russia, or Canada again until the gold medal game. Give us your quarterfinal predictions, Steve.
I think you're going to have your top 4 teams are going to be Sweden, Team USA, Russia, and Canada. And I really do the way Team USA has been playing at them. I think they are the best team playing right now. I mean, they're getting solid goaltending, and if Miller needs a rest or he happens to come up fail, you got Tim Thomas, who not as good as Ryan Miller, but he's still a quality goaltender. They're getting a lot of shots, a lot of offense from all their offense. They're veterans and they're young guns, and their defense has been playing better than I thought they were. I mean, a couple of shows ago, I said that's going to be their big thing they need to worry about is their defense, and they're getting it done in all cylinders, every level of the game, from coaching to on the ice. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they're making the game simple. They're not trying too hard. They're not trying a complex offense. They got a good goaltender. They'll do pretty well. They also got some competition. Team Russia, Evgeny Malkin scored 2 goals. Alexander Ovechkin, he is a threat to be reckoned with. 2 assists. Watch for him to be pretty tough. Sweden, you got Lundqvist in goal for Sweden. He is also a top-tier goaltender in the NHL. He's going to be hard to score against. So Team USA looking good, but they've also got a lot of teams looking to strike against them.
In other news, Tiger Woods made his first public comments since his November 25th accident. In his press conference, he admitted infidelity and apologized to his wife, family, and fans. We've seen the backlash in the media with the Woods since the incident. Adam, how do you think Woods' first statement since he helped did it help or hurt his cause?
I think it hurt his cause, especially because the amount of time it took for him to make that statement. Yes, he was in rehab, but that's not an excuse. If you're Tiger Woods' PR man or woman, I think it is a woman, you got to make that statement in the first couple days. You can't wait months or weeks to make that statement. It hurt him a lot, lost a lot of sponsors in that amount of time. His fan base got hurt, and people are forgetting about the PGA. With Tiger Woods not in the PGA tournaments, it's hurting the ratings for the PGA and just the PGA as a whole.
I think Tiger Woods, everything is getting blown a little bit out of proportion at him. I think, he came out, and one of the quotes he said during the press conference, he says, "I know I have bitterly disappointed all of you. I have made you question who I am and how I could have done the things I did. I am embarrassed that I have put you in this position, and for all that, I am sorry." It's very hard for someone, especially who is higher up in the rankings, to come down and say, all this was my fault. Obviously, you cheat on your wife. There's no one making you make those decisions but yourself. But you look at, so many people look up to him, and he had to say something. And I know people are saying, well, yeah, people look up to him. He's a role model. He shouldn't have done what he did, but he did, and he came out and he apologized for that. You look at other people who have been in the limelight for doing bad things, sports people who are looked up to. Ray Lewis with the whole murder charge a few years back, Kobe Bryant with the rape situation in Denver, and Marshawn Lynch, who hit a woman and then robbed a woman of $20. And people are just like, oh, well, we'll forget about them because cheating on your wife is a bigger deal. That to me, that doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, I think the biggest thing is he was a role model for everyone, little kids, upcoming golfers. He was even looked up to with some of his peers. And then for this to happen, it's different between sports and relationships, but it kind of merges sometimes. And he took a definite hit in the ratings, and a lot of sponsors dropped him, and it just not a good thing for Tiger Woods right now.
It's interesting to note that Woods gave no real timetable for his return to golf. Woods is only 4 major wins behind Jack Nicklaus, but for all time to lead. When is the next time we will be seeing Tiger on the links, Dave?
I think he'll be coming back quicker than people know. I mean, obviously he doesn't need the money. He's pretty well, financially stable, even though he's got to pay his child support. But I mean, golfing's what he does. It's what he loves, and right now it's all that he has. And I think he'll realize that that's all he has, and he'll come back, and I think he'll come back stronger than when he left before. And he's not going to come back stronger to make people forget about it, but hopefully they'll put it behind him, and he'll be able to move on.
Yeah, time heals all wounds, and especially so does sports. And I think it'll be this year. I think you'll see Tiger Woods at some point this year. It will be a huge deal in the media. I think golf will help him get over this and help his family out a little bit, get him back to what he loves doing, which would be golf. And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see him before the end of the year.
The NBA trade deadline came and passed last week. While there were several deals made, most of the bigger names stayed put. Cleveland did get more help for LeBron James in his quest for his first title, acquiring Antoine Jameson from Washington. The Cavs, however, lost 3 straight games since the deal. Who were the biggest winners and losers of the trade deadline to you, Dave?
I think, first of all, Chicago Bulls, they went out and they got their big man, Akeem Warwick, who they so desperately needed over the last few seasons. They went out and they got him, and they're 2-0 since. Akeem Warwick, he's averaging 12 points per game and 9 rebounds per game. You might look at that stat and be like, that's not really that great, but when you're in the division the Bulls are and it's close, every little bit counts, and I think they're a winner. If you look at the losers, I think you got the Phoenix Suns. Amari Stoudemire, he wanted out of there. He didn't want to play with them, and they could have gotten a lot of talent to help Steve Nash in his prime to get that title. They're a talented team. They haven't been able to get the title, and their failure to trade Amari, I think, is going to reflect poorly on their season.
I have to agree with you with the Suns. The winners to me are the Dallas Mavericks. They got Brendan Hayward, and they're 3-0 since. He's really helping out Dirk Nowitzki inside, opening up Dirk so he can shoot the 3. They got rid of Josh Howard, who was, it came out later in the week after the trade happened that Josh Howard got suspended by the team for being hung over before a game. I mean, not a player not a player you want on your team. So not only did they get better, but they got rid of a player who could be potentially really bad for your locker room. And Howard, again, out for the season with a torn ACL, so it's not getting any better for him. Same thing with the Suns, though. Amari Stoudemire, they almost traded Amari Stoudemire to the Cavs, but they wanted to see if they could get anything better, and nothing was out there really for him, and it really hurt the Suns because they waited to pull the trigger, and now they're stuck with him. Obviously a player who does not want to be in Phoenix right now.
All right, next up is our look at the Buffalo Bills offseason. Each time we will focus on a specific position and what the Bills could do to better themselves for next season. Up for debate today is the offensive line, properly named because the line was often offensive to watch. Now the surprising retirement of starting right tackle Brad Butler. What are the solutions for this unit, Adam?
Well, nothing's really out there free agent-wise. There's really no big names. With the retirement, that's going to hurt as well. I think our biggest bet to get some offensive line help would probably be in the draft, but now we're also talking about maybe picking up a quarterback. So I think offensively for the Bills, this is going to be their draft. They really need to get some offensive line players in the draft. Even after the draft, players who went undrafted, you're going to have to call some people, make some things happen. So it's really going to be up to the draft this year for the Bills.
I hope that this new coaching regime, Coach Chan Gailey and company do a better job than what Dick Duran and all those other guys did. First of all, your failure of Derek Dockery and Langston Walker, two of the richest contracts in the history of the Buffalo Bills, they went out there and none of them did anything. I think your first main thing you need to do this offseason is go get Rich Incognito, sign him to an extension, and he was the best next to Eric Wood, your best and your most durable offensive lineman. And of course, Eric Wood, hopefully he's young, hopefully he come back after that horrendous knee injury that he got. And Andy Levitri, he's showing some promise too. So I think you got a lot to build on, but you also have a lot of holes you need to fill in the draft, or maybe going out and getting Chad Clifton or bringing a Mike Gandy back will help you patch up those holes as well.
Each day is another good story comes out from the Olympics, it seems. Well, guys, there's a lot to pick from, but what are you guys excited to watch?
I'm excited to watch just the whole everything. USA up in the Olympic Games right now. They got the most golds. They got the most medals. It's just really to see USA hockey. Can they overcome the atmosphere in Vancouver? Can they face those tough teams? Paulo Anton Onel, he had seven career medals. Bodie Miller got his first gold. So there was a lot of things that I've liked to see in the Olympics, and there's still a whole lot more to come.
It's also exciting to see if Team USA can win their first ever Winter Games in 78 years. It'd be huge for this country. This country has so much passion behind it. It'd be great to see, Apollo Ono, seeing him getting his record 7th straight medal. He's right up there with Michael Phelps in the Summer Games. I think this country has a lot of great representation of it, and I think they're going to go deep, that's for sure.
All right, guys, that's all from us today at the DNA Sports Report. I'm your host, Michelle Mastellone, here with Dave and Adam. Just remember, when it comes to sports, it's in our blood. Thank you.